Hi there, Virgo. Welcome to your August 2025 message of the month. Two announcements. I'm available for mediumship readings right now. That's to connect with a crossed over loved one, as well as personal readings for a short time. The link for that is in the description down below. And don't forget, I do my High Vibe morning show Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where I go live for 30 minutes with free mini reads. So come hang out. Okay, Virgo. So kind of looks like, ooh, it looks like you're kind of, you're the bigger theme of your life that you're growing through this month is you really want to start being more intentional with your time. Like you're kind of tired of the games, you're tired of the confusion. You're kind of tired of not having anyone in your life, like a love interest in your life. So you're really craving how to be more intentional, but I think you used to pride yourself in how independent you used to be. So it's kind of like a hard pill for you to swallow to like, actually, I do need someone in my life. Actually, my life is better when someone is here. Um, yeah, and it really just looks like you've built your life up in a way where it's really full. You have a lot of fun activities, you have a lot of connections, and I'm seeing kind of like worldwide connections. And it's like you prided yourself in how independent you were. And it's almost as if you thought, like, here's my life. All that's missing is my lover. But like what you found is that like a person doesn't just come in and then you can line up with, okay, now I'll get married. They're the perfect little fit for what's missing out of my life. Um, it's almost as if you're having those moments where you realize that even though you have like a worldwide connections and strong friendships, they're not people who integrated with you on your day-to-day life. So they're not people that you're like necessarily creating memories with. It's a life of stories. Memories is where you have that, oh yeah, I remember when you went on that. Like, oh yeah, do you remember when we went there? There's this, I forgot where I read this quote or who I heard it from, but I just asked them, I was like, hey, what's love to you? And they were like, love is to like witness someone's life. And it's true, when you have someone who witnesses it, it makes it more alive. When you have someone who gets that day-to-day story of your life, like they get to point out, I just pointed out to a friend this morning, I was like, hey, I know you're being really hard on yourself and like your weight gain, but do you realize that you just cashed like a $7,500 check? 3 months ago, you lost one of your jobs that was $2,000 a month, and you're like, how am I going to come up with that? 3 months later, you're now cashing the biggest check of your life for a public speaking event, right? I brought her life more alive. I reminded her of the memory. She has a memory now, and it was someone who witnessed her life and pointed out, like, you're actually doing really good. Like, stop beating yourself up. You're kind of starting to recognize the significance of that. And it's like now you're just in this situation now where like you created this like awesome single life because and that's what everyone tells you when you're younger. Just create a life that's really fun and really good, a lot of good hobbies, and then you'll be super attractive. The right person will come in. Well, like some people, we also like push people away because that I'm focusing on myself. I'm building my hobbies. Where are your hobbies? So it's almost as if you're just at this point where you built your independent personal life up so much that it's kind of like some of this has to crash down for me to allow like love in. But it does look like in the recent past, you just had this moment where you're like, somehow I've got to let someone in. Like somehow, like it's just you're just really starting to recognize I need that love. I need that nourishment. I need that juicy good love energy. It's like you're just recognizing it'd be such a soul recharge to have them in there. Okay, it does kind of look like the people that you're attracting in, though, are a little like strong-headed, a little strong-willed. All I can say is that if you're reconnecting with people from the past, you got to recognize that there's history there, and if that's your read, they probably felt very ignored, very abandoned, very isolated, very alone. So now when you're reconnecting, they might not be coming in with full arms wide open, like, oh my God, let's reconnect, because like you either have to have those conversations like, hey, listen, I know in the past it was this. but like, I'm really sorry for any hurt feelings that were there. Do we need to talk about anything? Like, here, I have some stuff I want to share. I'll listen to you. Let's like, it's called rupture and repair in psychology. You either got to do some repair or you got to be willing to show steady, consistent action. Like, you got to call them every day, a 15-minute phone call. You just got to like show them the new steady, consistent action to get them like out of their head and like into their body to enjoy a relationship with you. And but it is that like steady, consistent action, which will either let it work with that person or a new person. Because overall, this is just screaming, love is worth that steady, consistent action. It does look like right now, though, you definitely are just wanting to like hermit off by yourself. And it's almost as if you think that going hermiting by yourself is going to help give you the epiphany that you need, the insight that you need to solve this problem. But the problem with that is that your problem is that you're not consistently reaching out to someone to build that long-term relationship with. You know, and I know your pain, Virgo, because I had that period where it's like, oh, I don't need a primary partner. Look how happy I am. I got all these friends. My birthdays are awesome. I'm going on vacations, you know. But then what happens is eventually they partner off or they move because they got a new job. Or they start having kids and it's like, oh, so I was your best friend, but, you know, so that life partner is important. And it's the steady, consistent action put towards someone, which is going to get you the result you want, not hermiting off. In the near future, man, gosh, I'm so sorry. This is not a positive reading, Virgo. In the near future, you're just like disappointed that that person from the past and just like spring up and just like all clicked into place. But like all I can tell you is that that person's extremely disappointed as well. It's almost as if they wanted it all with you, but they've like whatever happened between you two in the past, they've just narrowed down like, okay, this person is only good for this. This I only go to this person for this. And you're like, no, I want it all. And they're like, I'm not gonna believe you. Like I wanted that for so long and you kept pushing it away and dropping it to just this. So I'm just going to come here for this. I don't even care about the rest anymore. Um, that's what you got to do, that rupture and repair. Okay. Any advice for Virgo on any past love? You got you got to be willing to look at it optimistically. You got to be willing to put in the work and the effort. You got to be willing to be a little bit of the leader of like solving the problem and putting in you got two cards of action. And you also got the Knight of Air, which can be the card of a little of like being impulsive, which I know goes against like a Virgo's nature. So you got to be the King of Air. You got to be the one to put in the let's solve this, let's work it out. What's your love language? What's something I could do to make you feel loved? Like you got to be willing to put in those actions. It's like you're really in this place of like I did all this. I built my career up. I got my money right. I got all these fancy things. And like it's like we're the people who are like, "Oh my god, I want you." And you're like, "Wait, I did all this work already to get that person." Okay, and that's like great to become an attractive person, right? But it's recognizing that relationships also take work and effort. It's like, hey, like, am I doing a good job making you feel loved? How was your day, babe? Let me just listen and hear you. Are you wanting to be heard, hugged, or helped right now? Like, or I can't help you, but I can certainly listen to you. Tell me about your day. How can I make you feel more loved? Is there anything I could do to support you in your work this week? Like, it's not about just becoming the shiny object that will get people looking at you, but then to form the connection, you got to put that energy into the connection. I think like that's kind of like the sum of this reading. It's like you got to get that epiphany moment. And like once you get that epiphany moment, that's when it will kind of all start falling into place. Like, oh, if I want that person to always come visit me when I'm like at my beach house, I got to call them consistently and maintain that relationship, you know? Um, but when you kind of have that epiphany that a relationship is worth, and like a partner is worth investing that in, and there's going to be a little bit grudgingly on your side because you're like, nope, I only need a person for this. And you're like, oh, but I have to give this to actually get a person to come in. That's going to be a little bit of fine, I guess I'll do this. But your personal power this month, it's like just embrace that you do want love. Embrace that it is a good way to spend your time investing in someone's growth, investing in someone's like life, like it's worth it. And it's like, and it's definitely like the being a team player, and like your personal power is to have more fun when you're with the person. Quit expecting or wanting them to be that picture perfect thing that just plops into your lap and is absolutely perfect. And like a, because they're perfect, I can now line up with having a life partner. That's not how like law of attraction manifesting works. It's, I want a life partner. I love these 7 out of 10 things about them. I want a life partner. So, universe, guide me to feeling better about these 3 things. You got to be the one to line up with, I want one, and I'm lining up with this person. And you definitely have to have more fun with the person. Like literally go out and do a fun activity with the person. And it's almost as if you two will see each other in a whole new light. Like going out, and it could just simply be like even going to, but don't go to like a boring restaurant like whatever, I'm just gonna take you to like the hamburger shop down the road. Take me like, oh no, this is the best hamburger place in town, or like, oh no, this place is cool because of this. So it's like a fun new experience for the two of you together, and that will really help you guys see each other in a new light. Okay, in terms of, this is outside influences. Outside influences like want you to move on. They want you to like kind of wake up and recognize that you milked everything you can milk out of your single life, and that it is time to like morph into the person who does the coupled life. And it is different living, it's a different lifestyle, right? When you're single, it's what do I want to do, who do I want to do it with, where do I want to do it, you have all this freedom, right? But then when you do couple with someone, there is like a, you do gotta, hey babe, I just got this really cool invite, I just wanted to call to make sure, you know. And obviously, you're not going to partner with a person who's like, no, I need your attention. You come home, show me that you love me. You can't go have fun if I can't have fun. No, don't date that person. But it's the person who's like, oh, babe, I'm so sorry. That sounds so cool. Dude, I was going to surprise you with like massages at home. Like, I spent $500 on it. Like, oh, I really want you home. Oh my God, which one, you know, like, the person who has that flexibility and that, you know, but like doing that call to check in isn't as bad as you think it's going to be, because you're going to gain that everyday companionship. You're going to gain that someone witnessing your life. You're going to gain that story that I shared, like, you know, that was cool to have that moment with like a, hey, I don't see why you're being so hard on yourself. Remember 3 months ago you were like, how am I going to replace this money? Look at you now. You just made more in a day what you made off a month off being a professor. Like that's a cool moment. That's a cool moment. It's a good way to spend time. That's another thing that another quote, which I don't remember where I heard it from. The meaning of life is to enjoy the passage of time. And investing in relationships is always a good way, man. Well, people who are team players and healthy, obviously. Um, you just definitely have cleanup work if you're going to try to make it work with the past person. That's all. In terms of your hopes or fears, well, your hope is you're just like, I just really want to enjoy life. I really want to enjoy life. I put so much work, energy, and effort to get to where I'm at, to get to where I wanted to be. And I really just want to enjoy life. In terms of your outcome for this month, okay, you got the Justice Major Arcana card. So that's an interesting outcome. It looks like there's gonna just be like this internal kind of grapple where you're either gonna be like, okay, fine, I gotta be the one to clean up this relationship. I gotta put energy and effort to like clean up that past relationship and like make it work. And even though I won't like doing the work, I know I'll like the end result, you know? And like, who likes cleaning? But who likes a clean house, you know? Um, or you're gonna have to reconcile with like, okay, I get it. I'm gonna have to put in the energy and effort to get to know a new person. I have to go through those first butterflies, those first 3 months of jitters. Like, no matter what, it's gonna become this. It's gonna be this internal grappling moment where you're like, okay, fine, I am ready for love. I'm ready to put the energy and effort into love. Um, I'm so sorry. This was not like a positive reading, Virgo. What advice do you have for Virgo to like enjoy it more, to make a good life out of it? Wow, if you would quit worrying about money from your partner, you've got a beautiful person there waiting for you. full of love, full of good energy, full of let's go on a walk, let's go to the park. Um, and it's like that person would open up to think of stuff for you to do if you quit making their money situation such a big deal. If you would just stop focus on screening people financially, you would get very loving people, and you have a very loving person there. Um, and yeah, you got another card of Knight of Water, Knight of Cups. It's like you've got to learn to enjoy love. You've got to learn to enjoy loving the actions that it takes to build a long-term, steady, committed relationship. And it's like get out there and go out there and have fun. Like it just looks like you need to get out of your house, or like I don't know how it is that you're meeting with people, but they keep like this is the third time they've shown me this vision where it's you need to stop like meeting them at home, and you need to like go out and do something with them. It doesn't need to be grand, it doesn't need to be expensive. But like even going to the botanical garden and like you guys getting in a new environment where you're actually doing something, it's gonna get you out of that. Like, because right now you're like have a microscope at the person. You're like, here's your flaw, here's your flaw, here's your flaw, here's your flaw. I'd never hang out with you. Fix that stuff, right? But like if you get out and like even if you just go to like the botanical gardens and the person's like, "Oh my god, those flowers. It reminds me of that time my aunt blah 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 blah." You're going to see the person in a whole new light. And instead of the microscope of flaw flaw flaw, you're going to see more of the whole person of them and like, "Wow, I could actually spend my Friday evenings with this person." Grabbing a cocktail at the botanical gardens, like you're gonna see the other parts of like here's all the joyful good spots of them. So like if you're gonna try to reconnect with an ex, get out of your house and like do something outside with them. um yeah, okay, Virgo, I hope that reading helped. I don't even know how to title this one. That's a lot you guys are going through. But I get it. Sometimes it can get frustrated in love, and it's like, I don't want to meet a new person, or I don't want to put in more effort. They're the ones who messed it up. They should do it. Like, I get it. I understand you guys. But good luck, Virgo. You can book a reading, or you can come hang out with me Monday through Thursday right here on YouTube at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Lots of love, guys. Bye.